So it's a real honor for me to be here with two great, not just accredited investors, but people in general.
Perfecto, buenos días a todos. Me llamo Billy Kills y Mr. No,
Hola,
I'm kidding. That was
Billy.
just a joke. Hold on. That was just a joke. That was just a joke. So that was for Mr. Myers, who said that I was able to speak Spanish. So we did that, and I thought maybe Kerry he was frozen there just for a second because we were intimidated, ready to talk. But I know we'll get him back here. And so, Tanisha, it's great to be here. It's really, really looking forward to it. It's been some fantastic speakers, lots of great questions, excellent networking. So, Jerome, this has been fantastic, and I feel honored to be a part of it. I have been fortunate to work and travel throughout some 86 countries in my life. I also speak 5 languages, and plus real estate, so maybe I speak 6 languages. And for the last 20 years, I've lived in Europe. So I've lived between France, Italy, and the last 15 years, I've lived in Barcelona, Spain. So
what do you think of when you think of finding freedom through investing?
I believe it's about being able to do what you want because you want to do it, not because you have to do it. And I would say I've been very, very fortunate. I've learned a lot. I've made a lot of mistakes on this path to investing. I love the fact that although we're here at a multifamily investing conference, which is phenomenal, believe it or not, I don't actually consider myself to be a multifamily investor. I'm someone who is an investor. I'm someone who has solved problems in my 26 years of leading sales organizations across Europe, Middle East, and Africa, across the globe. And multifamily investing has been one of the tools that helped me to solve a specific problem that I had in my life, and that was having more control. I don't necessarily know if the way that I do it is the right way for everyone, right? It is a way that has worked for me. Specifically in the last 8 years, I have been burning the candle at both ends. Living in Europe, I would start early. I'm not somebody who needs a lot of sleep, although I'm recognizing that my body probably does. So I'm trying to work on getting more of a balance to try to sleep 7 hours, although I think I only need about 5.5, 6.
I am learning. Recently, I hurt my foot. I get coached by Jerome, and I was advised to make exercise a daily thing. And I did not understand the importance of the way it helps me handle stress until I was not able to walk. You know, we don't realize the impact that a lot of us who are new to the space and trying to work on goals, we might not realize how beneficial these habits are, but they really are. Having that ground, that layer of that foundation is really helpful to all the things that we're going to be trying to do as new investors. So thank you for sharing.
When you're in that space, you realize that you're not doing what everyone else does. So that is one of the reasons that you continue to rise, to gain more responsibility, to gain larger teams, or whatever the case may be. So when you can adapt a very similar type of mentality outside of the corporate environment, to say, hey, listen, it's okay, you're going to do things differently than most, to have more confidence in yourself, really start to understand what the goal is, not just why you're doing things. I mean, we were talking last night in the networking room, and it's understanding not just what you want to do, right? Because that's important, but a lot of us forget about why we want to do what we want to do. But once you're clear on the why and you want to start working on the what, then it's a matter of saying, okay, well, part of that is understanding what is the game that we're playing. So a lot of times it comes down to understanding basic definition, and then understanding how you're earning your income, put the different tactics and strategies in place to provide you with one of the first things, which is the financial freedom, to then allow you to go after your time freedom. Like one of the things that Maurice Philogen talks about all the time is, the 5 freedoms that he goes after, that he works towards. And so when you can understand why you want to do what you want to do, then you get to focus on what you want to do, and you understand the definitions that sometimes could be holding you back. It's just about executing a game plan, getting the feedback, and then continuing to adapt so that you move forward much faster. We have a lot of people here who are not real estate professionals or don't know what real estate professional is. This is a really important example. So perfect. So not by tax definition. One, got Daisy, Amy, Jerome. If you are not a real estate professional and you are trying to compare your freedom to someone who is a real estate professional, you've just put yourself behind the 8 ball. You know why? Because a real estate professional plays by a very different set of rules than those of us who are not real estate professionals. If you're not a real estate professional, you say you want to do 6 to 8 deals a year, and that may be somewhere between, on the low end 300, on the high end 800,000 that you're going to have it in terms of invested capital. Well, if you place that invested capital somewhere and you are not a real estate professional, or your spouse is not a real estate professional, well, you're not able to get the same benefits that person who is a real estate professional can get. And so it's important to understand whether or not you're a real estate professional or you can qualify to be a real estate professional, because that could potentially accelerate your ability to become financially free. I'm glad Mr. Love is back here. Stick around, man.
If you choose and you want to go down this path, if you don't do anything, you're not going to get there. I talk to so many people that says, hey, I want to do this. I want to do this. I'll ask them, well, how long have you been doing this? And they say, well, I've been doing it for 2 or 3 years. I said, well, what have you accomplished? What have you done? Well, I'm still learning. Well, I kind of look at that as that some of my first mistakes, bad mistakes, time healed them.
Perfect.
Anybody that has been successful has made sacrifices. And they've all made mistakes. And so if you're afraid that you're going to make mistakes, you're afraid that you're going to be a failure, then you're not going to go anywhere.
I was very good in my corporate role. Like I was someone who was constantly being recruited to move up. And it wasn't until I realized I don't actually need those titles. I didn't need my ego to be filled anymore. So I started turning down the promotions. I started saying no. And then but then that same energy I was then putting into building this business. As I mentioned before, because there was also a 6-hour time difference, there were days where I literally started for 8 years. What I realized is a lot of the knowledge, like the classroom knowledge, I don't use, right? I did learn a lot of the social skills and meeting people that are great friends of mine and they're in different businesses. I was on the for instance, I was on the phone with a friend of mine yesterday. I was a $50 million fund, right? And we're talking about different things. And, he's out in Silicon Valley and we're brainstorming different ideas. But it's not because we were in the Econ 101 class together, that whole relationship that we were talking yesterday, because I'm kind of living his philosophy. And since I saw Brian and Tiffany earlier, I felt like he'd be okay with it.
Hey. Looking good, Billy.